these places, introduces you to the best businesses, and tells you about upcoming buzz. Preset your radio to Tan Talk 1340 AM or 106.1 FM. That is the Be Local Buzz with Devin on Tan Talk 1340 AM and 106 FM. Looking forward to speaking with you.
It's the Be Local Buzz with Devin, Tuesdays from 4 to 5 p.m.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
It's now time for Connecting Caregivers with author, speaker, caregiver advocate, and talk show host Linda Burhans, the gal who cares for caregivers.
Caregivers around the world today. It's time to lift you up. It's time to celebrate. Good afternoon and welcome to Connecting Caregivers with me, Linda Burhans, the gal who cares for the caregivers with love, laughter, and lessons learned on the show where you can find help and hope. And with us on the boards, we have Mr. Ed today. How you doing, Ed?
Doing all right. Nice looking day out there.
Beautiful. I love it. I could have it like this all the time.
Well, this would be perfect all the time, but
What did you say?
this would be perfect all the time, but I'd rather have it. I'll take the heat instead of the snow.
Oh, I don't want any snow. So that is my best friend, my co-host, and my sidekick, not psychic, Lynn Thornley. Yeah, well, my family keeps sending me Michigan, Maine, all the pictures, all that. I'm like,
Oh, well, they chose it.
Rhode Island. This
Yeah.
morning they said it was 5 degrees.
And they're going to have a really bad winter up there.
Well, the other day it was 55 and I was drinking hot chocolate.
Oh, of course. I got marshmallows to go in mine.
It was like
I know.
freezing. So you don't know. So the first thing I want to do is give a shout out to our newest listeners. We have Cece in Clearwater, Marianne in Largo, and Aurora in Seminole.
Welcome, ladies. Hopefully, Cece's a lady.
I think so.
Okay.
I don't know. But welcome. There's always plenty of room around the Connecting Caregivers table for more listeners, whether you listen when we're live on AM and FM or YouTube or Facebook or my website or wherever they'll take us. We're just here to help you out because we know the caregiving journey is not always the easiest thing. But I know with education and support, it can make it a whole lot different. So today I have on the show my friend Lori Smith. Hi.
Hi.
Welcome.
So excited to be here.
Yeah, so I'm going to talk about a few things, and then you and I are going to have a conversation. But the first thing I want to talk about is yesterday, I volunteered at the Enoch Davis Center with Samaritan's Feet. So I don't know the exact story. You can go to SamaritansFeet.org. But many years ago, a young man who lived in another country, he didn't have any shoes. And someone came and brought him a pair of shoes. And that pair of shoes changed his life. And ended up coming, as he got older, he came to the United States and he had a very lucrative career. And he went back to his country and the kids still didn't have shoes. So he decided they're all going to have shoes. And that is his mission. But he has opened this up now to shoes for seniors. So the people that came there yesterday had registered a couple of weeks ago. They measured their shoe size. They came yesterday. We gave them fresh, clean socks. We fitted them with shoes. There was a podiatrist there in case anybody had any kind of issues. If by any chance we couldn't find a good shoe to fit for them, they were able to order them and they'll be sent to their house. And I have to tell you this one lady came in and she had like ratty slippers on. Ratty slippers. And when she put those new pair of shoes on, she stood up and she walked away and she came back and she was crying. And she said, well, now I can walk outside.
Wow.
So, yeah, we don't know what we don't know.
Shoes are the most important thing.
Yeah. But some people are paying for their prescriptions over their shoes or for their rent these days for seniors. It's craziness. But it was a really nice experience. So if any of you want to do something like this in your area, you can go to SamaritansFeet.org and they'll give you information how to do it. They're willing to give away lots of shoes and everybody should have a pair of shoes, especially seniors, because you don't want to be walking in them slippers. You don't want to be walking in those flip-flops. You know, you need a good shoe. I'm not talking to you. You're not a senior. Well, I made sure when I went there yesterday, I had sneakers on. I was like, yeah, you better have sneakers on if you're going there to do this. But yeah, it was a really great experience. Oh, and you can go to that website too if you just want to be a volunteer. So if they have an event in your area, they'll have volunteers. You know, it's a big deal giving out 200 pair of shoes where you're actually fitting each person. So it was great. I had Sherry Gruden next to me and Lori Collins and Arlene Grasso. It was absolutely wonderful. I want to remind you to go to the website and nominate someone for the Caregiver Contest. So the Caregiver Contest is open all year long. It takes you like 5 minutes to nominate someone. Go to lindaburhans.com. Every single caregiver that gets nominated receives a gift from me, whether it's a journal or a book or whatever. And then once a quarter, we pick out one name randomly because you're all winners to us. And they get a gift basket with gift cards and a facial and a massage and some respite care and just some really cool stuff. But anyone that just gets nominated is so excited that someone thought about them. Because you know what happens lots of times is you're a caregiver, they're like, how's your loved one? They're not really asking how you are. And even if they do, you might not really be able to express it. So for someone just to honor you, I think is a big deal. It doesn't cost anything. Because every time a caregiver gets nominated, they're like, oh my goodness, that was so fabulous. Made my day. So Lori, we've known each other probably like 15 years now, I'm thinking.
At least.
So tell us about what you do and why you do it and your background.
So that's a long story and it goes a long ways back.
It's okay.
I moved down to Florida from Ohio in 1983 to help start open long-term care, manor care. Back in the day, it was what assisted living is now. So I did that and had a long run with that company for about 16 years. But that's all I know is working with seniors, nursing home, rehab. Then it was assisted living, independent living. So again, it's all I know, and I need to be. I live it.
You breathe it.
Exactly. I mean, we have so much fun. My husband, who retired a year and a half ago, tells everybody that I'm not going to retire because I have too much fun at my job. So it's, it helps being with a team and a company that you believe what they stand for, and that their priority is to make sure the staff are taken care of, the residents are taken care of, and it's a happy place.
And you're making a difference in people's lives. You're making a difference in people's lives.
That's our goal. Exactly.
I mean, it's aging can be difficult. Aging can be scary. And many times people don't even know the options.
Right.
They're home, they're being isolated, which is my biggest fear for anybody aging. Mm-hmm. I would suggest adult daycare. I would suggest a neighborhood group, just something, going to your church, getting out of the house more if you can. But the biggest fear is me seeing seniors that are isolated and don't feel like they have any sense of purpose anymore.
Exactly. And we see that a lot. The fear of being alone. I mean, my sister, even though she still works, she just turned 82, but she lives alone. She's in this industry as well and has been for years. But seeing what she goes through and feels, that the gap is closing in on where my age is going towards, and you start reflecting differently about what's important and things that you need to take care of sooner than later.
Yeah. Well, I'm always talking to everybody about being prepared. None of us are getting out alive. Hate to say it, but it is what it is. So I want you to be prepared in your home for as long as you can to stay in your home. So last year I had my bathroom done over. I had the tub taken out. So it's just a walk-in, a high toilet with a bidet. And I remember when the guys came, they were like measuring up the bathroom because we were taking a wall out. And I just said to them, make sure it's big enough to fit my walker in there. And the guy looked at me and I said, I'm not on a walker yet, but I may be one day. And if I am, it's going to be a big Cadillac walker. So we have to make sure that it fits in there. But I want to take responsibility as much as I can now for my future.
Right.
And that makes it easier on my children.
Right.
And it makes it easier on me.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Because I get to make choices.
Right. And that's something that we try and educate. It's all about timing, but you need to be aware of what that looks like. What does one do to prepare? Think about, a lot of times families say, I've promised.
Never do that.
Yeah, can never promise, because one day it's going to happen and you're not going to have a choice. So be proactive and do the research yourself. And I hate to say that, I sit in my office every day asking families, do you have a power of attorney? Do you have a living will? Do you have a this? Do you have a that? And then my director, Don Winder, one day said, do you? And I'm like, nope. But I made, my husband call our attorney, and it's like, okay, we got to get this.
It's important.
It is.
When my granddaughter had her second baby, Delilah, usually I get them the car seat or the dresser, some big deal present. And whenever I go, no, I'm paying for you to go to an attorney. Because you need to get your papers in order. You own a home. You have 2 children. You have a business. And they're like, thank you, Grandma. Because if they save up $500 or whatever, they're going to buy another window for the house or something.
Yeah, exactly.
So they go to the attorney. I know they're good to go. And that gives me peace of mind, too.
Yeah.
So we need to think about those documents at any age. Because any of us could walk out of the station today and get hit by a car, and you don't know what's going to happen. You may not pass away, but you may need somebody to make decisions for you. So I want you to think about it. So for our listeners that don't know, can you explain what's the difference between independent, assisted, memory? Yeah.
Sure. So, there are a lot of different senior living communities out there, and it's always good to do research when you don't need it.
Right.
Educate yourself. There's so much online. Linda, you share a lot all the time. To look at, some people come to us with like a spreadsheet. Their adult children or even themselves, they will make this spreadsheet of things that are important to them. So you have to know maybe like what are your top 3 or 4 things that you are looking for when you do want to move or need to move into senior living. So independent living, you could still be capable of doing everything yourself, but being surrounded by your peers and social, and not have to worry about paying the trash. Yeah, and mow the grass. That's a reason why people might move into senior living. But then they want to also plan ahead that, should 6 months down the road something happen and maybe they need help with bathing, or maybe they're getting their medication messed up, and that's it. Well, that would be considered assisted living. Some places have the gradual progression, different types of like buildings or towers, or you could go to a community where it's all right there and you can age in place, which is kind of like Granvilla. But the memory care, one big point that I would drive home is, if there is memory loss in your family, and you're looking for senior living, look for a place that does offer memory care.
Yeah.
Because
especially by the time they need memory care, a move is hard.
Right. It's just because somebody has a diagnosis doesn't mean they need to be in memory care, but it's all about the programming better. Or, sometimes it's a smaller environment. It's a structure. But independent living is just like it sounds. You do everything yourself, but it's more social.
Well, and I think people think, oh my God, that costs so much money. But I remember when my mother went into independent living, when we added up everything on her house, her taxes, her insurance, her this or that, it was a piece of cake.
Right. And people don't realize or think about doing that. So it can be very economical to do that. And then assisted living would be, you need assistance in 1 or 2 areas.
Bathing, maybe.
Pills
Reminders. Pardon me?
Pills.
Yeah, medication.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times we'll have adult children come in and say, yeah, they can take it, but I think they're getting it messed up, or they're forgetting,
It's
or they
hard.
take
Or they're
double.
taking too much.
Right.
Or not taking enough.
Right, exactly. So, it's not, senior living is not a cookie cutter plan.
Yeah.
You definitely need to go out and do your research. There are many resources out there that can help direct you. There are
And go visit a community now.
right.
Go visit a
Exactly.
community. Take mom. Go there. They'll give you. I'm sure they'll give you a free lunch. Right.
Yeah. I mean, that really is
You know.
a wise idea
Yeah.
because food tends to be one of their big hang-ups that, they're not eating. So they need to eat well.
Right.
And so if they can taste the food and observe what's
See
going
the
on around.
environment.
Yeah.
Or if they could come to a community for respite care. So let's talk a little bit about what respite care is.
Okay.
So
So,
I didn't find out what respite care was until I was in my bereavement group.
Mm,
Oh, not good.
yeah. So respite is a program where let's say an adult child is taking care of mom or dad. And they are just, like you mentioned earlier, just so fatigued and
Overwhelmed.
overwhelmed, and you just need a break. You need to get away, or you just need a break. You want your space in your home.
Or your daughter's having a baby shower, or
Exactly. It could fall into any category. But respite would be where your mom or dad would go to a community for a certain period of time. There could be 5 days, there could be 2 weeks. We do 31 days because you want them to have a good experience.
I think it's such a great introduction.
Yes.
So if you're thinking somewhere down the line, maybe it's not for 6 months from now, but if you're thinking somewhere down the line that it may be necessary or maybe a good choice for your loved one to move into a community, let's check it out beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
I remember Rick and Corbier. So he wanted his mom to go to this place, and his mom was clever, but she had cognitive impairment or whatever.
Not badly.
No,
She was
but
90 something,
Yeah.
so.
and so we played this little thing, and I went and I met her, and I told her my girlfriend's mother is moving here, and she may move into this community. Can you go there for lunch with me and check out the food?
Mm.
And she
Sneaky.
said,
Sneaky.
and we had a really nice lunch, and she said at the end, I would live in a place like this. And a month
Get a
later,
suitcase.
Yeah.
And a month
it's in
later.
the car.
yeah, a month later, she moved in, but she had that exposure.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like somebody's just saying, okay, mom, you're going to go live at this place now that you know nothing about.
Mm-hmm.
So I suggest that you do that ahead of time if you can, because then when the time comes to make that decision, you already know what community you want to be in. Mom's already, or dad, or your husband or wife, whatever, has already been there. And I think the biggest deal that I find that people ask me in my support group, especially with memory care, when is it time?
Mm-hmm.
And I say the time is when they're not safe anymore, or when you're ready to jump off the bridge.
Right.
And I also find that when someone decides that their loved one is going to go into community, many times it's much worse for the caregiver. The loved one goes in the community. Well, you got some friends now. They got some stuff going on. You're the caregiver. You're the one that now goes home alone. You were that 24/7 caregiver, but you get to be the wife or the
Mm-hmm.
daughter.
That's right.
You get to be so frazzled, because the last thing I want my kids is to be having headaches and gritting their teeth because they're worried about me.
And I think oftentimes, adult children fear that conversation. They may feel it, or maybe a physician has suggested it to an adult child, but that child is afraid to approach the parent.
Mm-hmm.
I know that when my mother-in-law, who was 95 at the time, she was living with her daughter, and she didn't have the social skills going on. So we took her around and let her look at three different properties. Thankfully, she chose Grand Valley Clearwater. I wasn't there yet. I was at another Grand Valley, but she moved in at the age of 95 turned a week later 96, and it was the best thing ever. I mean, my husband was very afraid to even talk to her about it, but we discussed over Mother's Day, what do you
Yes.
think about? Because I feel, too many adult children or family members, it's what they think mom would want.
Yeah.
But maybe mom's
Have
just
you talked to Mom?
waiting for something like that to happen. And, so it's just take that step of faith that.
Well, and the thing is, many years ago, it was, it's one flew over the cuckoo's nest. No, I'm never going to do that. You take your person to somewhere for lunch and they see what a beautiful community it is and don't even have to have a conversation about them moving in right now.
Mm-hmm.
Just let's have a lunch at this place and check it out.
Right.
No pressure. No
Right.
pressure.
Well, also, if the family member does that tour, 2 or 3 different places, and be sure that it's close to where you live.
Yep.
Because if you're the one that's going to be traveling to see your family member often, you don't want that stress.
Yep.
Yes. I had a family call that was on her way to a tour with us, and she called and said, I didn't realize it was so far. And she was in Bel Air, we're Clearwater. And I said, if it's too far, I don't want you to stress about it. Look elsewhere. It's okay. There's so much other stuff going on in their brain.
That's what I love about the professionals in our community here in the Tampa Bay area. Because if I don't have the answer, you have the answer, or we know someone that has the answer.
Right.
We're never going to leave somebody flat.
Right.
We all work together. We all play good in this. As my one friend says, there's plenty of juice in the orange for all of us.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we're going to talk about that a little bit more when we come back from our break, because right now it's time to hear from our wonderful partners, because you know the deal. If you don't hear from them, you don't hear from me. We'll be right back on Connecting Caregivers Radio.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Arden Courts is not just a place to live. It's a place to call home. Residential living combined with quality caregiving. This is the philosophy behind Arden Courts. Communities created exclusively for individuals with Alzheimer's disease and related dementia who would benefit from a safe and structured environment. For additional information about any of the unique services Arden Courts provides, call 888-478-2410 to locate a community nearest you. Inquire about our educational seminars, resource library, or support groups, or simply feel free to ask questions you may have about Alzheimer's and related dementias. At Arden Courts, we know, we understand, and we can help because memory care is all we do. Remember, call 888-478-2410 for additional information about any of the unique services Arden Courts provides.
Are you getting older, or are you taking care of somebody who is? Getting older creates new problems you probably never imagined. One of the big ones is, how do you pay for care? Care in your home, care in an assisted living facility, or care in a nursing home. Did you know that nursing home care in our community can cost up to $12,000 per month? For the last 33 years, our office has helped families access benefits, including Medicaid, VA, and PACE, to help pay for the cost of long-term care. Regardless of what your assets are or what your income is, you can qualify for these benefits. Proper planning and guidance are absolutely necessary to avoid being wiped out. Let us help. If you are in care or heading in that direction, we can help solve that problem. Take action now to obtain benefits to pay for the cost of care. Here are the 4 things that you need to do. 1, get a new power of attorney. Your old one probably isn't good enough. Get a healthcare surrogate and a living will. 3, get an estate plan that will not disqualify you from benefits. And 4, get a plan to qualify for Medicaid, PACE, or VA benefits to pay for the long-term care costs. Call us today for a free consultation, 727-539-0181, or go to flmedicaid.com and download our free book on Medicaid and planning for long-term care. I'm Sean Scott. I'm here to help.
guaranteed to make you laugh through your tears. Linda Burhan's book, Good Night and God Bless, is filled with humor and heartfelt inspiration to aid anyone facing the challenge of caring for a loved one at the end of life. Her story offers hope for human strength and understanding of weaknesses during a difficult time. Life doesn't normally prepare us to become a loved one's caregiver. When it happens, it's usually sudden. A diagnosis of an illness, age-related frailty, dementia, and life suddenly is anything but normal. And because we don't even know what we don't know, where do we turn to for help or guidance? In Connecting Caregivers, Answers to the Questions You Didn't Know You Needed to Ask, Linda offers information, education, and inspiration from her own experience and from experts whose advice, practical tools, and personal stories will empower and guide you. Make sure to add these inspiring books to your collection today. Available on Amazon.com.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
And we're back.
And we're back. I'm just here telling a little bit of Josie jokes. But anyway, so one of the things I want to talk about with the holidays coming up. So some of you saw your loved one during the holidays. And maybe you've seen a little bit of decline. Maybe some of you have not seen your loved one for 6 months to a year. And you may go on FaceTime with them or Zoom with them. And they're like, hi, we're good. Everything's
And
wonderful.
you can't smell them.
You know, they're not going to tell you that they fell down and they got 3 bruises on their leg,
they
or,
don't bathe.
or dad hasn't pooped in 5 days or whatever. So you need to go there. You need to go there, first of all. And you need to maybe be prepared for some surprises. And maybe not. Maybe you're going to go there and everything looks just lovely. And after about an hour or two, you go like, something's not right here. Like, I don't know. Could be just like certain dishes are missing or whatever kind of thing. So I want to talk about some of the signs during the holidays when we visit our loved ones that we want to look for. And then I want to talk about how we talk to the family about it.
Okay, so Thanksgiving, the last week, we did have some families come in after visiting their parents, and life is busy. We're all busy, and as you said, if you're on the phone, you talk with them, they can cover up a lot, but it's getting boots on the ground, and I think adult children sometimes are fearful of what they're going to find.
They don't want to know.
They don't want to know. I get that. I understand that. But coming in, and they go in, and number one would be odors. Maybe mom and dad never smelled. They always were clean.
And their clothes were really neat.
House was immaculate.
Yeah.
So that would be a big pointer to kind of focus on is, are things out of place? Is there a smell? Because UTIs, urinary tract infections, that's going to be a smell. And, there could be, folks will take off their clothes and rehang their clothes, not realizing it, because if they're in
they don't smell it
they
anymore.
don't smell it. Again, my mother-in-law, she never smelled. She only took a shower once a week, but that was her era. She, the sponge bathing, that's okay as long as it works.
As long as it works,
I think the rule is when you go in the hospital, 2 days a week that you have to, they bathe you. That's the only, otherwise you're good. So,
well, and that's one of the last things, that's one of the big things people start to avoid doing.
It's
bathing. Could be scary.
Right.
It's exhausting
yes,
for them.
It is exhausting.
Right. Afraid to fall.
Afraid to fall.
Yeah. That's a big one.
And I have to clean the bathtub. That's my biggest thing. I got to clean the bathtub right after you get out.
Yeah, it's a project. Well, also we're going to go in the house and we're going to open up the refrigerator and let's see what's in there.
And there could be nothing, or there could be a lot of things that have been expired.
Yeah.
Yes.
Especially milk, other dairy products, moldy items. I know sometimes my food gets pushed in the back after, it happens.
Right.
But that is another sign. Piles of mail or newspapers just piled.
Yeah.
that they're overwhelmed. That was my mother-in-law. She was, before she moved in, she just had piles all over the place. And she could only do one pile a week because it was
Right. It's
overwhelming. A lot of it was trash, garbage mail. But those are some signs. Probably I would recommend connecting with a neighbor on either side. Not
The
to
neighbors
be-
know everything.
Yes. And make sure that they have your phone number, not to be the nosy neighbor, but just in the event something happened, please reach out to me.
Years ago, one of my caregivers went to visit her mom. So she went over and she started talking to the neighbor. And the neighbor said to her, "Oh my goodness, we were so worried when the ambulance came and took her 2 weeks ago. Her daughter didn't even know." She never told her daughter.
Yeah.
So talk to the neighbors. They know what's going on.
Yeah. Not to be so dependent on the neighbor, but just more of an informant to help.
Yeah.
For
Here's
those
my number.
emergency. Right. But so
because sometimes I'll tell you, and I hear this all the time, people are helping neighbors and their children don't even know that they need help. And the children don't know, the neighbor doesn't know how to get in touch with their children.
Right.
They're not even sure, do they have 2 boys? Do they have 3 kids? Do they whatever? So try to have that conversation ahead of time. When you're outside and you see your neighbor's daughter came to visit her, go over and chat a little bit.
Absolutely. And make sure that, who the physician is. A lot of times when we have families in town, I don't know who they see because the parents they don't want to share.
They never had to take them.
Right.
Because they're out of town.
But they're also very private. I think that era, they just want to keep,
business.
Right. Keep it private. So having the conversation, with mom and dad would be, or dad, just, just lay it on the table. I'm concerned and I don't want to make decisions by myself. I want you to help me. Tell me what's important to you. How can life be made a little bit easier so you're not afraid? What can we do to keep you in your home as long as you want to be and as long as you can be? Because there are services out there that can provide safe home care.
And lots of times that's a good start.
Right. And, because they don't want to give up everything.
Nobody wants to.
Right. Having the conversation about the car, that's a difficult one.
Yeah.
Where you pull in the support or the help of the doctor, let it be the doctor's fault.
Yeah, I blame a lot of stuff on the doctor.
Yeah. But I mean,
but they'll listen to the doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially that generation.
If they shouldn't be driving and they shouldn't be driving and something happens, you're liable.
Just disable the car.
Yeah.
If you can't convince them, just disable the car. Just unplug something in the engine. They're not going to be able to fix it. Grind down the key. I don't care what you got to do.
Right. Or get a different key that's like
that
a blank
doesn't
key.
work. And I don't know why the car doesn't work, that kind of thing. But if we're going to talk about taking the keys too, because I'm not looking forward to that day. I'm hoping when the time comes, I'll be mature enough to say I shouldn't be driving anymore. Give them options first. So, like, how am I going to go grocery shopping if I can't drive? Well, Mom, I'll take you on Saturdays, or we'll get Instacart, or how am I going to do this? Well, this one woman, she gave options to her mom. And she said, your granddaughter has agreed to come over here every Saturday when she's not working and take you food shopping and hang out for a couple hours. She was good to go just by that because otherwise she was not seeing her granddaughter every week.
Right. Looking forward to something.
So let's give options. Because I don't want to think about you just like took something from me and what am I going to do?
You didn't replace it with something else. Right.
Yeah. I wouldn't want anybody to do that to me.
But there's like Uber and like you said, the Instacart deliveries to the home.
Linda and I decided that when the time comes, we're getting one of those driverless cars.
It's just going to drive us around.
And we're going to sit in the back seat.
Drive
and have
Daisy.
wine. There was a big accident with one of those
Was there?
carless drivers. It went through a roadblock.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They haven't got them perfected, but by
don't
the
do that.
time we need them next year, we'll be good to go.
We'll see. But yeah, so I want you to think about, and you can speak to their friends from church too. They'll know.
Yeah.
When all of a sudden they stop going to church.
Well,
When they stop going to church, because usually if they've been faithful for a long time, that's a big deal for them.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the stories I tell, because I'm always saying reach out for help, there was a woman who came and she said to me, Linda, I've given up everything. I don't want to give up going to church, but her husband acted very inappropriately, so she couldn't bring him to church. And finally, one day she went to her next door neighbor who is Jewish and said, do you think you could hang out with my husband when I go to church on Sunday? And the neighbor said, I would love to do that. She said, so the first Sunday I ran to church, I ran back, and when I walked in, they said, we don't need you here. We're playing dominoes. So now she gets 3 hours every Sunday morning.
That's nice.
And the neighbor gets to see his friend.
Mm-hmm.
And her husband gets to see the neighbor.
Yeah.
Because you know what I say all the time? You may think you're the bomb caregiver and no one can do it like you and only you can do it. Many times your loved one's going, could you go away for a while and send somebody else over here?
Right. It's just asking, not assuming, but asking. And, it's not that you're a quitter or
You're weak.
You're weak.
Yeah.
We're all made, with flaws and with capabilities and with strengths, but we can't be for everything. You know what I mean?
Right.
So because they have to stay strong for themselves also, or the loved one is not going to be around long.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about purpose.
Mm-hmm.
I really think we need to find purpose for our loved ones. So what kind of things do they do when they move into a community that gives them purpose?
So one of the main things that the staff or activities should look into is ask, kind of get that history. What does the individual like to do? What was their career? Were they in the military? And, share that information. And then ask that's one of the top 3 or 4 questions that you should be asked, or we should be asking when they visit. What is important to you? What do you want to see happen? And a lot of them is like, to make friends. Usually that's the number one. I want to make friends and be safe, and I don't want to be alone. So we do ask interests or what their interests are. Gardening. They like to play pool. They like to play bridge. So we try and match, which I'm sure every community does, to help. It's just like a child going to camp. You want to help make friends or help them make the friends that have similarities. So we have volunteer opportunities. We have residents that volunteer in the store, volunteer helping with activities.
Yeah, that's good.
So, finding out what it is.
What their strength is.
Right. I have a resident that she is very forgetful, but she's still appropriate. And she, what can I do? I need to stay busy. What can I do? What can I do? And so you want to put some brochures together.
Yeah.
I don't care how the brochures looks like. I give her the supplies, take them to her apartment. I may get them back with 5 of my business cards and 3 price sheets, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Because I said, thank you so much. They need to feel.
That's so funny because my story with my mother. My mother's all the time, anything I can do to help you? I go, there's some laundry in the basket there. She goes, I don't want to do that. Anything I can do to help you, Linda? There's a couple of dishes. And I don't want to do that. But my mother was a legal secretary. And that was a big deal for her in the day. So I went to Staples and I printed out 500 phony letters and 500 phony labels. And I said, if you could just stuff these and put these labels on here, it would help me so much with my business. Yeah. And it took her 5 nights watching Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy.
Yeah.
But when she handed that to me, she was so proud that she did something to help me. It was the best $20 I ever spent.
Exactly. And so it takes a team. It takes a village.
Yes.
To, not just the team within the community, but with the family and other resources that we all work with out in the community.
And all the team within your community.
Right.
All the staff, from the cook to the maintenance guy it's all important.
Absolutely.
It's all important.
Because there's going to be a connection with that individual and a staff member or two. Housekeeping, they're the ones that see what goes on really in the apartment.
Right.
And they're the ones that can say, Mary Jo, her apartment's just not smelling,
Yeah.
the best. So then that gets the wheels spinning of,
Yeah.
okay, let's check and see if there's anything
Yeah.
medically wrong.
Yeah.
But it definitely takes a village.
Yeah. It takes a village.
And I know that my husband was in Grand Villa, and they used to get them on the bus and take them all to the secondhand store.
Mm-hmm.
My husband bought so many so many shirts, a pink one even.
At the thrift.
Yeah, they went to the thrift store, and he just had a ball.
Mm-hmm.
He liked that.
Yeah.
Never bought his own clothes when he was with me.
I know, all those years.
I know.
We have a resident that he's lived there a while. He's a veteran, but he bought a sound machine to connect to the Bluetooth. So anytime we have a meeting or entertainment, he's there with the amplifier.
He's like the MC guy.
Exactly. So he started asked if he could do like Friday Fun Day with music. So for an hour every Friday morning, he sits in the lobby and the residents will come and sit and gather and maybe dance.
How nice.
So it's anything you can think of to even to get them to dance.
Yeah.
I saw some women sitting, we had entertainment yesterday and we're all dancing around and I could see a couple faces almost like they wanted to dance. They wanted to be asked. And so we went over and asked and it just like changed their whole demeanor.
Music soothes the soul. That's for sure.
It does.
And can really open up people.
Oh, yeah. Well, for dementia, they say, that music is kind of like the last thing to go. I mean, they're so good with name that tune or fill in the blank. Oh, my gosh. I don't know half of the songs that they know. It's crazy. But, I mean, there are a lot of wonderful communities out there, and you just have to go and shop and know what's out there that's in your price range, that meets the need, that's close to your home.
Hey, it's just like buying a new car.
Mm-hmm.
How much do you want to spend? What options do you need? What extras do you need? Now, you're not just going to walk into the dealer and go, here, I want that car.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to shop around. You're going to see what's available. Do the same thing. People are welcome. People want you to come into their communities because how are you going to know about it if you don't come in there?
Right.
I mean, you could drive by, oh, that looks nice, but you don't know anything till you go in there.
Right. I mean, you can read, you can look at pictures, but it's not the same as to go in.
Especially when you get to the smell.
Right. I mean, when I go to the grocery store, I want to touch the bananas and the avocados, but I can't do Instacart because, so it's the same thing.
That's how I feel about clothes.
Yeah.
I want to feel the fabric. I've ordered so much stuff and
it's not the same.
I don't send it back.
It's all Steinmart's fault.
I know.
Yeah, right.
It is. I don't like that.
You're right. Marshalls. That's our thing now.
Yeah, we go to
Marshalls.
Marshalls and TJ's, but you have to luck out. Steinmart, they had a great
And what were
buyer.
we talking about recently? That big catalog that used to come in the mail. The big
Sears
one.
Roebuck.
No.
Oh, Spiegel.
Oh, those days were fun too. Linda and I were big catalog girls.
Yeah, not for clothes for me so much though.
Spiegel though.
Well, because if you have a good store, then
it's different kinds of clothes.
Yeah, but you buy I bought a shirt. My sister gave me some shirts from Timo, and some of them are just lovely. Another one, I said to Joan, I don't know, but one arm came down to my fingertips, and the other arm was up here. And she goes, yeah, they put a small on that side and a 3X on that side. So I don't like ordering online, but there's Steinmart's online. I don't order from them.
What?
Steinmart's online.
It is?
Oh, I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
They are online, but it's not the same.
Yeah.
No, it's not the same. It's not the same. But anyway, were you going to
Just
say
gonna
something?
those are American companies.
What?
It's a difference. When you order from American companies, you know what you're getting. Overseas, there are no regulations to that.
Yeah.
Like you said, I never will ever buy clothes online again because you can't feel. Because most of the time, if you went into a store and you felt that fabric, you'd go, ew, forget it.
Exactly.
You can't do that online.
Exactly.
No.
And I don't like sending stuff back. It's pain in the neck.
And of course, their sizes are totally different.
Right.
You know,
yeah.
A 2XL to them is 2XL for an infant.
I agree. I never know. Do I buy a small, medium, or large?
Yeah.
I have no
yeah,
idea.
You don't
Boy, I
know.
gained weight and got taller.
Yeah.
You don't know. You don't know. So there's our 2 cents about shopping.
Yeah.
All right, now it's time to hear from our wonderful partners, so don't go away. We'll be right back on Connecting Caregivers Radio.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Choosing the right chiropractor is an important choice to make. Located in Seminole, the Alexander Spine Center team is trained on the latest chiropractic treatments and technologies. At Alexander Spine Center, you'll find chiropractic and physical therapy care that is safe, effective, and a natural approach to pain and other health-related issues. Chiropractic unlocks your body's potential and natural healing process to ensure your life is a healthy life. We treat clients from the womb to the tomb. Call 727-397-3000 for a free consultation today, or visit our website at www.alexanderspinecenter.com.
They take good care of me twice a week, so check them out.
Arden Courts is not just a place to live. It's a place to call home. Residential living combined with quality caregiving. This is the philosophy behind Arden Courts. Communities created exclusively for individuals with Alzheimer's disease and related dementia who would benefit from a safe and structured environment. For additional information about any of the unique services Arden Courts provides, call 888-478-2410 to locate a community nearest you. Inquire about our educational seminars, resource library, or support groups, or simply feel free to ask questions you may have about Alzheimer's and related dementias. At Arden Courts, we know, we understand, and we can help because memory care is all we do. Remember, call 888-478-2410 for additional information about any of the unique services Arden Courts provides.
We believe the power of the human body and mind can do amazing things, and that tapping into that power, not just tricking it with a temporary disguise, is possible. Superpatch technology uses a special pattern and vibrotactile technology to help you go from feeling blah to hurrah. Now, once the Superpatch is in contact with your skin, it triggers a neutral response in the brainstem that helps you tackle your daily problems head on. Whether you're struggling with pain, balance, stress, or focus, we have a solution that might be right for you. With Superpatch's 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to lose and everything to gain.
Hi, this is Linda Burhans, the gal who cares for the caregivers. I started using the Liberty Patch over 3 years ago. I used to be a tripper, but since wearing a Liberty Patch, I haven't tripped once. The Liberty Patch is proven to reduce the risk of falling by up to 8 times. And as we all know, if you prevent the fall, you prevent the call. Don't wait until it's too late. Preventative solutions are the answer.
Superpatch does not claim to diagnose, treat, or cure illness. Superpatch is FDA registered. To receive 25% off your first order, go to sticktoit.info. That's sticktoit.info and learn more.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Yeah, I got to repeat how much I love that Super Patch. All the patches are drug-free, no drugs. It's technology. I call it Braille for the brain. I met a friend for lunch a couple of weeks ago. She sent me a message. She goes, I see you talking about those patches on Facebook. Can we get together for lunch? I said, yeah, sure. We're halfway through the lunch, and she goes to pick up her glass of water, and her hand is shaking. She says, I can't even write my name anymore. I put the patch on her, and by the end of the meal, her hand was not shaking anymore. So there's a variety of patches for a variety of things. It's worth a try. You get a money-back guarantee. I don't push anything unless I totally believe in it. So I want you to think about the holidays. I want you to think about your loved ones and what's going on. I want you to be kind. I want you to be gentle. And I want you to pull out a lot of memories. Memories is the most important thing. Don't worry about decking out the house, especially if your loved one has cognitive impairment and you start putting them moving angels and Mickey Mouses that can really freak them out.
Oh, blinky lights, no.
Yeah, the blinky lights, too much of the music. Just make it simple. Try to find, I say this all the time, but I'm going to keep saying it. Try to find a quiet spot in your house where your loved one can go there quietly, maybe a bedroom, a den, or whatever. And then people could take turns going in, having some conversations. Because many times when there's a lot of people there, your loved one just kind of gets lost. They can't catch everything that's going on. They're just going to sit in the chair. They're not going to say anything.
Especially if they can't hear well.
Yeah, it's just too much. So take that opportunity to go and take some one-on-one time. Also, once again, make a memory box. So if you do have some actual pictures and stuff, that's great. But if you don't, and mom was born in Brooklyn, print out pictures of Brooklyn. If mom was a Girl Scout leader, print out pictures of Girl Scouts. If mom loves cats, just do that. Then someone can come in the room and not feel uncomfortable and just pick something out of the box and say, hey, I didn't know you were a Girl Scout leader. And mom will tell you all about it. And you'll probably learn some stuff about mom you didn't even know. So take time. Hug your loved ones. That's another one too. Hug them, because that's when you're going to find out if there's a little odor or if maybe they've lost a little bit of weight, because if they wear big clothes, you're not really sure. So do that. Remember, I'm here for you in any way you want. You can go to lindaburhans.com, send me questions or responses. Remember, God loves you all the time, and have a delicious day.
Bye-bye.